This Fox News alert. There's a Republican push right now on Capitol Hill to help President Obama clean up the growing mess in the VA. It passed quickly in the House. It stalled in the Democrat-led Senate. And now more lawmakers are calling for the resignation of this man, the embattled VA Secretary Eric Shinseki. Will he be able to make it through the course of this weekend is a big question right now. Welcome, everybody. Brand new hour of America's Newsroom on this Friday. I am Martha McCallum.
And I'm Bill Hemmer. Good morning. I thought Oliver North was very strong on this last hour. President Obama vowing to hold people accountable for the health care delays and these alleged attempts to cover them up. The House has moved on this, but the Senate not so much. The House easily passed a bill with broad bipartisan support, making it easier for Secretary Shinseki to fire VA executives. But a matching bill introduced by Florida Senator Marco Rubio hitting a roadblock.
Some of us are old-fashioned enough to know that maybe folks in the Senate might want to know what is in the bill before we voted on it. And we are going to hold a hearing on that legislation and other legislation in early June.
It seems that all of the reluctance to move forward on it is coming from one side of the equation, but that does not necessarily have to be. I don't think that any of us want to go home for the Memorial Day recess, and when we're asked, what are you doing on this issue? Our answer is, well, in about 15 days, we're going to have a hearing.
So the bill's 3 pages long, and it looks like the president will be not getting this bill before lawmakers head out for the weekend. A long weekend at that. Senior White House Foreign Affairs correspondent Wendell Goler is on the North Lawn there. Does the White House support the bill that was passed in the House, Wendell?
Bill, the folks here say they share the goal of clearing out the dead wood in the VA bureaucracy, but they're not sure either the House or Senate bill would solve the problem. It might simply prompt more lawsuits. At the same time, they say Veterans Secretary Shinseki already has the tools he needs to fire non-performing managers, and Shinseki has vowed to do so. He's supposed to give the president a report next week on how pervasive the problem of phony wait times is. Mr. Obama's Deputy Chief of Staff, Rob Neighbors, due to give him another report next month, Bill.
What about the Republicans' claim that the president's not treating this with the urgency that is required, Wendell?
Well, that may be more difficult to deal with. Even some Democrats were disappointed that he waited weeks before expressing his personal outrage at the report from Phoenix. And during that time, problems alleged at a couple of other VA facilities. Of course, when he did express his outrage, House Speaker Boehner said that was no substitute for accountability. It's important to note that the Inspector General hasn't found any indication that veterans died because they were waiting for medical care. No one wants any delay in treatment, but many of these are older people. They're suffering from chronic conditions, often unrelated to their service. Folks here say the long waits for treatment have been a problem for decades, but the president's transition team was also warned even before he took the oath of office that the VA's wait times were unreliable. So one question they have not answered is why they didn't look into the idea of wait times being falsified earlier. It's also true we've added a couple million vets with the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi says perhaps as a country we should have thought about their medical care when we were deciding to go to war. Bill?
Time to start thinking about them a lot more. Wendell, thanks. Wendell Goler on the North Lawn.